TikTok definitely started the trend of some snackable content. In fact, other major social media platforms hopped onto the trend and were finally hinting at Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. But it's not all so great. If anything, Texas governor even directed the state to prohibit the use of TikTok on government-owned devices. Does this have something to do with data protection and security? Let's find out. First off, TikTok might have access to more information than you think. You're probably confused why Governor Greg Abbott decided to just eliminate the use of TikTok on government-owned devices entirely. Not only that, he even called on the Texas legislature to pass a law restricting its use on public forums. And that makes you think, what's all the fuss about? Well, it's probably because TikTok keeps a huge amount of data from all of your devices. That's right, you might as well start reading the long terms and conditions right before you click on I agree, because you know what this means. The app can track when, where, and how you conduct your internet activity. Of course, with such confidential data, they can get a hold of potentially sensitive information from the Chinese government. At least that's what Abbott pointed out in a letter to Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and Speaker Dade Phelan. Adding to that, the governors of South Dakota and Maryland have already issued similar directives on this issue. In fact, just last week, Federal Bureau of Investigation Director Christopher Wray even warned about the risks of using the app, and that's all because of its control by the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP for short. Following up, TikTok already has a pretty diverse user base. Think about it. The app's become pretty popular for allowing users to film and share short videos with others. On top of that, its user base is about 1 billion monthly users, out of which 100 million users are in the United States. Officially, it launched back in September 2017, and as for the most popular ones on the app, influencers, as Gen Z likes to call them, they're pretty much getting paid millions of dollars for the content they create. So clearly, this isn't about entertainment anymore, because the app also unlocked a new aspect of employment. Talk about Addison Rae, who by the way, is the highest grossing user on the app. Did you know she brings in about $5 million every year just from TikTok? So, if you're thinking about banning the app or even restricting its use, it's not going to be pleasant news for the users who can't live a day without it. As for Abbott, he says that while TikTok claimed that it stores US data within the US, the company also admitted in a letter to Congress that China-based employees can still access the sensitive US data. On top of that, the app's parent company, ByteDance, even planned on using TikTok's location information to track every single American citizen on the app. Not to mention, data protection and security are major concerns on TikTok. Now you know why Abbott, in a letter to heads of state agencies, ordered those officials to ban its officers and employees from downloading or using TikTok on any of the government-issued devices. Because with everything that we know so far, the government really can't afford any third-party vulnerabilities, especially when it's avoidable. Adding to that, he also directed the Texas Department of Public Safety to create a plan to address any potential vulnerabilities that they haven't really pointed out yet. And these can include using TikTok on personal devices that are also used for state business, network-based restrictions, or just any other element of exposure that the government can't risk. On top of that, Abbott has also ordered plans to restrict public use of TikTok within the agencies by February 15, 2023. And that's not all. He also appealed to Patrick and Phelan, saying that in the upcoming legislative session, they'll have to come together to pass legislation that's going to safeguard the state against threats on TikTok. Plus, he added, this includes passing legislation to make permanent the directive I've issued to state agencies, making similar requirements applicable to local government and providing a mechanism where we're able to add additional software or hardware to a prohibited list for government use. Now here's the thing. In every single legislative session, the governor has the legal right to issue a list of emergency items for the legislature. And with that, the body can take up those specific items anytime before the 230 and 60-day constitutional limitations. So, if we're looking at the urgency with which Abbott wrote the appeal, it definitely makes it a prime candidate for an emergency item. Coming up, the TikTok Invisible Challenge is also becoming a data security concern. If there's one thing we know about TikTok challenges, is that it takes seconds to become viral. One hit video, and suddenly everyone's doing it. After all, it's just a harmless video, right? Well, it turns out it might be causing more damage than you think. According to Nigeria's telecommunications agency, a new TikTok trend called the Invisible Challenge is probably exposing devices to malware. Apparently, the crazy urges users to film themselves naked. Yes, absolutely absolutely naked, but they're going to use TikTok's invisible body filter to replace their body with sort of a blurry background. Although many officials have said that some users are now attaching a link to their videos, which downloads a virus onto devices. In fact, the Nigerian Communications Commission, or NCC for short, has even said that users' data was also stolen right after that. Yep, it turns out that this might be the latest move adopted by cybercriminals now. Attackers are attracting users by uploading seemingly harmless videos to TikTok as part of the trend. But what you don't know is that they're also attaching a link to software known as Unfilter, and it claims exactly what you think. It can remove the filter from the video, or at least that's what it wants people to believe. It's safe to say many people have already clicked on the link, thinking that they'll get to see the naked body behind the video. Up next, the malware has critical damage potential. According to the NCC, people who click on the link or even attempt to will have their devices infected with a virus called WASP or Wasp Stealer. And once it's downloaded, the malware has critical damage potential to victims because it's going to be able to illegally steal your important information. And yes, it's as bad as it sounds because it can access your passwords, financial activity, and even keystrokes from emails and chat programs. As for the Nigerian authorities, they've also warned that the malware might also be able to collect screenshots and video recordings or even activate any connected camera or microphone. Simply put, they'll have complete access to your phone and data without you even knowing it. And that's exactly why authorities have warned Nigerians to avoid clicking on any sort of suspicious links and to always use anti-malware software on their mobile phones and computers, while also trying to practice healthy password hygiene practices. Basically, just do whatever you can to save yourself from something like this. On the other hand, Nigeria, like any other country at this point, has also seen a rapid increase in TikTok users over the past few years, and we're specifically pointing towards the younger audience. In fact, just recently, 2 TikTok stars in the northern state of Kano were sentenced to whipping and were even forced to clean the court. Why? Well, that's because they used social media to mock a government official. What's more, TikTok challenges might be more dangerous than you think. Data security concerns, even if potentially harmful, aren't too uncommon in today's world. If you think about it, ever since we entered the digital era, it's only become an increasing concern. But one issue with social media platforms, or TikTok in general, is how influencers are influencing their users, literally. And it all starts with these sorts of challenges that might be more dangerous than you think. Here's an example. Egypt called for a TikTok ban recently right after a viral challenge left a 13-year-old paralyzed. Simply put, it was a pretty dangerous challenge in itself, which involved a group of friends throwing around another friend right before dropping them to the ground to test their strength. As for the 13-year-old Egyptian judo champion Ahmed Khaled, he was left a quadriplegic. The challenge, if you want to look it up, is called Throw Your Friend, and it happened not too long ago at El Obor City and Kaloubiya Governorate. Right after the incident, Egypt's members of parliament simply called for a ban on the short-form video app TikTok. In fact, the report said that Amira Abu Shaka, a member of the House of Representatives, already submitted a request for briefing, in which she called on the Minister of Communications and Information Technology to ban TikTok because of its danger to society. And after hearing about all of these events, wouldn't you agree? Finally, a study finds TikTok may be pushing harmful content to teens. Is that really hard to believe? At this point, TikTok may even surface potentially harmful content related to suicide and eating disorders to teenagers within minutes. And with that, many officials are concerned that there should be growing scrutiny of the app's impact on its youngest users. And here's what the study finds out. At first, the researchers set up 8 new accounts in the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada at TikTok's minimum user age of 13. And these accounts briefly just paused on or liked some of the content about mental health and body image. That's all it took for the app to send in recommended videos about body image and mental health about every 39 seconds within a 30-minute period. So right now, TikTok might be projecting potential damage on different levels. On one hand, the data security concerns cover major business and government-controlled areas. On the other hand, the app is also consistently impacting our generation, whether good or bad. We admit that TikTok is a huge influence, not just on individual users, but also on society in general. That's a wrap for this video. What's your take on the Texas governor directing the state to prohibit the use of TikTok on government-owned devices? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.